show maybe it reduces the risk of transmission of HIV, but not good enough.
Not enough to recommend.
That's right.
Exactly. Use a condom. We can teach that.
And that's what we've been educating and saying.
That's great.
Doctors aren't educated about the functions and structure of the prepuce. Anatomy books are terrible. We're working
Some
to
are
try.
not. Let me tell you a couple of things about this. So, let's see where we can take this and where we are having a common ground. Common ground, really not a great reason.
Right.
Common ground, probably a civil right violation and a whole lot of violation of that kid who didn't give consent.
Right.
Point of agreement that a lot of doctors are not educated about it.
And they should be. They need to be.
Now, this doctor doesn't belong to that. And I get asked.
What type of doctor?
Okay.
So you're with
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing is, there are more complex issues, such as an uncircumcised father. And I used to go very hard about it. Don't do this. You don't need to. Uncircumcised father pulls me aside.
Intact.
Dr. Mass, I've been made fun of all my life in locker room. I don't want my son to go through this.
Things are changing rapidly. The locker room parity
Not as
has
rapidly as you think.
The national circumcision rate in this country is 56%, according to the National Center for Health Statistics.
But that factor, listen, don't negate me. This
No, I'm
is
not
a
negating
reality.
you. I understand.
What I'm telling you is, let's see how you and I can arrive at this appropriate end result of not circumcising. So, educating doctors is very important.
We're trying.
Nurses too. I'm a nurse. I didn't
Yes.
learn
I'm a
anything
nurse.
about it.
I didn't learn
Exactly.
anything about it either.
So, right?
Right.
So how can we elevate community's awareness of not doing this? Europeans don't do it, Africans don't do it,
No.
South Americans don't do
South
it.
Americans.
Cor-
I'll tell you
Western-
some things that we are doing. Some of us are helping to educate childbirth educators in hospitals so that they're giving proper information on intact care. A lot of parents are under the absurd notion that it's somehow harder to take care of an intact infant. Even to this day, parents say so. I know it's not true, but we have to help hospitals.
So how are we going to teach the community?
We teach them about the functions of the foreskin, because if we teach them the value of it and the anatomy, they're less likely to want to amputate it.
Right.
But how do we
I
teach
guess
them
my
that?
question is,
How do-
why is it all on
The
us
books
to
need to be
educate the
revised
community?
here.
Why isn't it at your point when a dad comes to you and says, I was made fun of all my life and I don't want my son to be made fun of, you should say, sir, I am so sorry, but it is not medically necessary. Why is it
I
not?
do say that.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
She says it.
Yeah. So I just don't know why it's...
Listen.
They do, my doctor didn't. My doctor didn't tell me it was medically
But I think what she's asking is how can
How
we
can we
get
work
the
together?
other doctors
You see, I think I'm not I'm pro-choice, but I think we should eliminate abortion through education. I want to sit with all the pro-lifers and say, okay, how can we eliminate abortion?
Right.
Like that.
How can we
So
eliminate
what
the
I'm-
need for it?
Exactly.
We do try and educate parents and medical
Okay,
professionals,
now-
but it's a tough,
What are some of your ideas?
tough hill to
Okay,
climb.
this is what I'm saying. Okay, let's create a task force.
Okay.
Pediatrician, nurses, obstetricians. Let's get people from communities getting together that do not perform circumcisions routinely.
Right.
I think we're going to lose the Jewish and the Muslim
Population.
People
Culture.
within those faith communities are working hard to end that. So.
yes, but that's going to be harder for
I
us.
understand.
But let's start with like the simpler, low-hanging fruit.
Would you be willing to help coordinate some OBs and try and get them together on a task force to evaluate the education level of prepuce? I mean, the education level of doctors regarding the prepuce?
I'll watch.
If you'd be, as someone who has a lot of knowledge on this issue, would you be willing to help us? Because it's hard for us to reach out sometimes because doctors think that we have an extreme position even though we know we don't. So we need help from within the organization and to give it some credibility to say, hey, I'm an OBGYN and I want to help educate my colleagues because quite simply, what you could do is you could give them a quiz on the functions of the prepuce. Start out with a baseline saying, what do you really know about this? And they might be shocked to know what they don't know.
There's a lot of appeals to
Have you ever heard of an
authority.
organization called Doctors
What
Opposing
happened?
Circumcision? Doctors Opposing Circumcisions, headquartered in Seattle. It's some very dedicated doctors and lawyers who are actually working to help educate doctors about this issue. So if you would like to help us, because you're someone that's within the organization, we would welcome your help.
And I would jump on that task force with you as a nurse.
As a
And
medical
I'm
nurse,
a
yes.
regret mom, so I had cut 2 of my sons, and my youngest is intact. My providers did not tell me it was not medically necessary. The doctor who got consent from me told me it would not hurt him, that he's never had any issues before, that it's quick, and that they just cry because they are tied down. I've had, when I was in school, the doctor told me that they don't use anesthetic because babies don't feel pain.
Yeah, those insanities we have dealt
This is
with, right?
insanity.
It's made it
They
illegal
told me
for
some of the
Latino
same things
hospitals
too.
not allowed to do circumcision, not only without anesthesia, but waiting the appropriate time, because sometimes they inject you and they
And
don't
then
wait.
they just, right, and then it's still, they
so
can still feel everything.
There are different degrees of cruelty, right?
Right. Even if it was painless, it still shouldn't be done because it should be
tell
the
you what
child's
we're
choice.
I don't like to give my word without following it up, and I am very busy, and I'm taking
What's your
on a
name?
post. Nahid Nazareth.
Like Harvey.
Very nice
Are you
meeting you.
Persian by?
I'm Iranian.
Ronnie, my master sabbathar, my father-in-law, grew up in Tehran.
That's fabulous. So guys, what we can do is I can find someone.
Okay.
Thank
we
you.
can start the discussion.
Yes.
You're all here. It matters,
Yes.
and it's time.
It is.
So let's
Because the
think about
baby is
it.
the patient.
Exactly.
They're in it once they leave the womb of the mother. They're an individual patient and they have rights.
Right.
Yes, and the moral, ethical issues around circumcision are definitely serious.
It is.
I mean, the baby didn't consent,
Right.
and for us to do this is
Well, and the AAP, did you see the editorial in the May 2016 issue of Pediatrics?
no.
Dr. Andrew Friedman was on the 2012 task force that wrote the current circumcision policy, the AAP. His editorial basically explains that, hey, it sort of backpedals away from their policy and said, we didn't really mean to recommend it. And they never actually say they recommended the policy anyway, but he emphasized that it wasn't a recommendation, that it's really not based on medical issues, it's a religious and cultural thing. So I think the AAP is slowly trying to back away from it, at least based on his editorial.
Tell you what, I promise you, because I am involved with a lot of
Do you have a
chairs of
card on you?
ACOG. No, unfortunately I don't.
I don't have one
But I
either,
tell
will.
you what, I will talk to the ACOG people. I want somebody's information that I can contact.
You have a pen?
I do not.
Never-
Somebody has to have a pen.
If somebody has,
Well,
I
with this
usually do.
organization here, Attack America,
Okay.
and
So
we would
what-
love to work with you. Thank you.
So let's see what we can do to at least communicate this information
Right,
with physicians,
exactly.
with patients, and
Yeah, it'd be great.
bring it to the forefront.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we need people on the inside because
Yes.
you know you're in a unique position as a member of the
Talk
AAP.
about the creative responses.
One big question I have for obstetricians and
I don't know
gynecologists
much.
is,
I don't know
why
what
are
it is.
women's doctors cutting penises?
I agree with you because we're surgeons as opposed to pediatricians.
Because they view it as part of the birth process.
But this is the thing, and a lot of pediatricians don't come to the hospital. But it's a wonderful question. Why? Because 18 years later, 15 years later, 8 years later, I do not see that genitalia.
Right.
And I don't know how I can correct, improve the process, even
Right.
if we want to do it. It's a good question, except we are surgeons. Not that it's a huge procedure. Anybody can learn it, but it's a fair objection. And in some places, pediatricians do. Not every place. It's not a uniform practice.
But my point is that obstetricians and gynecologists are women specialists, and here they are doing surgery on males.
It's not a big deal. It's not important. That's not your important part of your discussion. The important, I'm a surgeon. That's what. And I do respect.
Well, the
But
important, the important part is
the
that
important question, don't derail your discussion. It doesn't really matter. Some pediatricians are, but the
They're
current
not gonna
discussion
use
is
that.
why are we doing it?
Right.
And do people are patients fully informed when they sign that consent?
I was
That's the
not
whole-
fully informed when I signed my consent.
The clear
it's
argument.
education.
Well, and the
Yeah.
GYNs aren't fully informed about the functions of the
We're not
tissue, so
fully
they have no
informed.
idea
I
what
was
the
not
tissue
fully
is.
informed.
They have no idea the value
I'm
of that
recording
tissue.
this.
This is the
They
argument.
look at it
Right.
as superfluous.
Right.
Right?
Because you know what? When
Nazareth? That's my information.
Casual.
See the quadra right here?